Ryan Copithorne joins me here once again to chat cattle markets. They've been a little wild here the last couple of weeks. Ryan, I have to ask, if you're a junior trader, maybe you just got your hedging account open, maybe you've been doing this for a long time, but you're uncertain about how to hedge these profits. Are there strategies out there that these farmers can take a look at right now?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a whole layer of different strategies, whether you want to keep it simple or go complex, but we can help you through that for sure.
All right, folks, let's get into it here with Ryan Copithorne, episode 92 of the What the Futures podcast. Hey, folks, welcome to the What the Futures podcast, your quick guide to better farming decisions. Alrighty, folks, welcome into episode 92 of the What the Futures podcast. Hope you're having a stellar day, and thank you for tuning in here once again. Of course, go hit that subscribe button on YouTube. I think we're north of 550 subscribers now, so appreciate that. Got a nice jump here lately. Or give us a like or a rating on your favorite podcast platform. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on all of them. So give us some love over there if you don't mind. Of course, each and every episode recorded in the UPL studio, where UPL conducts research in over 130 countries, including Canada. They test their products on the crops you are growing here across the Canadian prairies. So all that valuable research is important. You got to research on your local environment. That's what UPL does. All righty. Okay. I got to thank you for hanging out last week. We did, 2 live shows and the episode. So we hit you with content. If you're not caught up, there is a live show that we did with Chuck Penner that is a must listen to. Chuck and I hammer through 10 different crops and talk about some of the price expectations, some of the market update in those crops. Go check it out and send it to your neighbors as well. It might help them with some of these key crop marketing decisions here as we enter the first third of September's behind us now. We're heading into that middle part of the month. I'm excited. I can't announce it yet, but I have a new sponsor, new partner joining the podcast here in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. And I'm also, firming up the roster of guests for season 3. Yeah, season 3, episode 92 right now, season 3 coming up here in November. And we have a survey that's gone out and people have asked for some different things. And so we're incorporating your answers. You can go and check out that survey. We've emailed it to you a bunch of times. I'm sure it's on this Friday's email as well. And I mailed a bunch of stuff today. I sent packages out, flags out to some listeners. The flags are super high quality, so you need a bit of a gust back there to have them wave in the wind. But that's not a problem for the prairies usually. So they're out there. And I also sent the last of the hats. We did the wonderful fundraiser here at Ag in Motion for the Canadian Centre for Agricultural Wellbeing, and the last of those packages hit the mail as well. So thank you to Corey, Kelly, Grant, Sarah. Oh, I'm missing somebody in there. I apologize, but thank you so much for donating to the CCAW and snagging those last packages. I sent most of you a bonus t-shirt because I had some extras kicking around. So you got hats, t-shirts, and flags. Those are all in the mail here as well. Now there are 2 hats remaining. Signed hats. Paisley, Bwender, sign these hats for me. And we have 2 fundraising initiatives coming up. So one of the hats will be at the conference in Moose Jaw in the silent auction. And the other hat, I believe we have an online auction happening in November. I could be wrong on that. I'm positive that is on the calendar here to raise some additional funds for the CCAW. I'm positive that's what it is. And we'll auction off a hat there. So there are 2. There's also I have a couple signed ones, sweaty ones that I've been wearing. I don't know if anyone wants those ones, but, we'll see. Maybe someone will want to bid on those as well. Nah, that's just gross. Let's talk, before we talk markets, let's talk about the Harvest Hustle contest. I need to shed some light on this because, I don't mean to pick on the other folks out there. This is, I'll apologize in advance, but I saw submit your harvest photo for a $150 gift card to XYZ. Submit your photo to us and get recognized on social media. Like that's the award. Like we're giving away like a $6,000 prize. I had a little aha moment when I was driving in my truck Wednesday. I was going down the road and I'm like, holy smokes. Have I overshot on this one? Am I a little over my skis on this prize? Did I mess up here? Don't get me wrong. We are getting entries coming in every day. RyanDenis.ca /photo contest. That should get you there. Just head to the website. You'll find it. We are getting entries every day, and I appreciate those. You can see them on our social media post. Our social medias, Amanda has been taking care of posting some of those. You just have to go in there, enter your details, and you get entered to win a trip to Halifax, Nova Scotia. All right. Curling for the entire week, November 22nd to 30th. Hotel, 3 meals a day in the VIP lounge. The list goes on and on. I think, I'm going to venture that this is one of the more, some of the bigger, one of the bigger prizes out there for your harvest photos. And hey, we're just doing this for fun. Like I'm not doing anything with these photos, sharing them obviously back to the followers, but nothing crazy. Like I'm not, monetizing this in any way. So if the prize is intimidating, I want to take a minute just to break it down for you. Okay. Because I understand that a week of curling, it may not fly for everybody to step away for an entire week to go watch how many 20 some draws of curling. I get it. Now here's the thing, folks. I want the winner. I want you to go to Halifax. All right. But if you came to me and said, well, Ryan, we need to get a babysitter, or we need to get some help here, or our schedules, we can kind of do 4 or 5 days. We can't do it all. Like these tickets are yours. I want you to be there 100%. This trip is for you. But if you were like, hey, my parents are coming, or my brother, or so the folks on the farm, we're going to divvy these tickets up between a couple of different people here. I don't want to overcomplicate this. Don't get me wrong, but just know that I understand it's a lot of curling. And if you want to bring in some other people and do some stuff here, have some fun with it, spread it out a little bit, that's up to you. All right. That's going to be under your control. So, if you're intimidated, like, man, this guy wants us there all week. It's going to be monitoring our every move. No. You figure out what you can make work, and then you work the rest. All right. Now, the cool thing here is I reached out to Curling Canada, and when you send an email, you just put it out there in space, and you don't expect an answer. You don't expect an answer. I didn't expect an answer. I put it out to Curling Canada. I'm like, hey, I have this little podcast. It's farmers tend to enjoy curling. And it'd be great if I could have a guest on. I thought they might come back and say, all right, thanks, Ryan. We'll think about it and get back to you. Or, hey, this person's just joined the circuit, a rookie. Don't get me wrong. We appreciate the rookies as well. But, here you go. Well, who I got an email from? I got an email from Caitlin Laws. Her and her partner farm in Manitoba. So maybe that's the catch here. But Caitlin is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Caitlin Laws has been voted back in 2019 the 7th greatest Canadian curler in history. A TSN poll of broadcasters, reporters, and top curlers voted on this. But she's a big deal. All right. She's qualified for Halifax, her and her rink. They're based out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Winnipeg is a wagon. Pardon me, Manitoba is a wagon when it comes to curling. You look at the roster for the trials, there's a pile of Manitoba teams. So I don't know what you guys are doing over in Manitoba, but you guys are a wagon here when it comes to curling for this Olympics. But I get to have a chat with her. So, we're trying to figure out some schedules. We're trying to figure out our calendars here. She is very busy, preparing and training. But she did send me a note, said, I'm going to come on the What the Futures podcast. And we're just trying to get our schedules lined up. So stay tuned. We'll have a one-on-one convo here with Caitlin Laws, and I look forward to it. It's gonna be great. All right, so again, Harvest Hustle contest. I got one more thing to add. We've got one more feature here, if we'll say so. We have some transportation lined up as well. We have a chauffeur that has been lined up in Halifax. So when you land, you'll be greeted by Ag 3 has stepped up and provided this option for us, provided this service for us, is how I should say that. And you'll be greeted when you land in Halifax by your own personal chauffeur for the week. If you want to head out to Peggy's Cove, there's an opportunity for you to ride with Jeff. He'll take you to Peggy's Cove. Jeff is a Ag 3 employee and a local to Halifax. And he said, "Hey, Ryan, what do you think? Like, we could make sure that people have a ride that week, make sure that if they want to see an attraction, I could do a little tour guide." And so, yeah, I said, absolutely, let's do that. So Ag 3, we have a chauffeur service lined up for you as well when you land in Halifax. All right. All right, cool. Thanks for Ag 3 for stepping up with that. All right. So we got Ryan Copithorne is on the show this week. Cattle markets still very hot, folks. You don't get me wrong. Things are hot, but futures are starting to pull back here a little bit. So we wanted to get Ryan's thoughts on what to do from a risk management standpoint with cattle. Honestly, a lot more exciting than grain right now. You know, you've done a lot of the hard work already. And for grain now, you're probably delivering contracts. You're getting quality assessed. You know, you're likely not making any big moves. I know I'm not doing anything wild. Yeah. Okay. Our farm. Yeah. We sold 100,000 bushels of wheat this week, but you know, I wouldn't call that wild. You know, when you're going to replace it at some point in your futures account, I wouldn't call that wild. But we'll talk about that here a little bit later on. So Ryan Copithorne with Cows and Control joins me for this week's episode. All right. Positive moments for the week. Now, this one, you know, if you have a weak stomach, just bear with me for a second. I'll let you mute it here or lower the volume for 10 seconds. But number one for me this week, so Finley's going to be 3 in January, and he's been working very hard on his potty training here the last couple of weeks. All right. And we have to celebrate. We have to celebrate the first poop, right? You know what, parents, you know what I'm talking about here. You know what I'm talking about when that thing lands in the toilet. We celebrate with all our might, and it has happened for him. He has pooped in the potty. Honestly, we're having a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun with it, and he's doing great. He's doing great. You know, anyone going through this, you have your little setbacks, your tough days. But I tell you, we are very creative peers now. We go to places, we pee on things that you never would have imagined. And I bet you didn't have that on your bingo card for episode 92, Finn's potty training. But there we go. We're getting it done. So Finn's doing great. My second one, I went to the Russell Peters show last week. So Russell Peters, Canadian comedian. He's lived in California for the last 20 years, but Canadian comedian. And he mixes in some music with his show. Anyways, folks, anyone that knows me personally, I'm not great with time. And so I thought a comedy show, you would have an opener, then an intermission, and then your headliner. I'm thinking headliner's probably going on like 9 p.m. So I put Finley to put the kids to bed. I helped Chantel put the kids to bed, and I'm like, I'll be there at like 7:30. The opener guy's probably just starting or whatever. I'll get a beer. Well, I pull up to the venue. It's a great venue. The Jube in Edmonton is a fantastic venue. And the bars are closed. I'm like, could I get a beer? They're like, we just closed everything. I'm like, what? Are you sure? Like, it's 7:30. They're like, yeah, the show started. I'm like, what do you mean? So I go to the person that helps you, the usher, and she's like, yeah, the opener should be done in 10 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, and then there'll be an intermission. She's like, no, Russell's going to come on stage like right after that. So I don't want to go. My seat was in the front row, so I didn't want to go as the opener was talking. So I waited for him to end, and I was just standing at the back of the theater, right? I'm talking about, what, a couple hundred feet to walk? Well, he ends his show, and I booed it right away to the front of the stage. My buddy's waiting for me. Buddy Rob, I'm going to get there, sit down, and I'm not even at my seat, and Russell Peters jumps on stage. He is on stage. I sit down. He has started his show. So you know what that means? Russell Peters and I had some discussions during the show, and it was a lot of fun. And he was not shy to point me out at times. So I turned very red. I was sweating. My glasses were foggy. He pointed everything out to everybody the entire time. So it was fun. It was a great show, and had a lot of fun. Last positive moment. We are heading camping one last time here. Some September camping. We are going to get 32 nights in this trailer this year, and that's a new record for our family. So we are off camping one more time here. Some beautiful fall camping with the beautiful weather. All right, folks, let's keep moving along here. Let's talk crop marketing, and then we will talk about the conference. And let's do crop marketing, Ryan Copithorne conference, eating your veggies. Let's do something like that. I don't have a lot to talk about from a crop marketing perspective. I really don't. I do have, I have some things that are maybe, I don't know, not opposite of what's being said out there, but, I keep reading that the malt is super quiet. And don't get me wrong, I'm not excited about the malt price at $5.75 and $6. I'm not. But what I like about malt right now is that I can move it. So the example I have is for feed. This farm got offered $4.35 a bushel was the feed price. The malt price $5.75, and malt was delivered right away, and feed was actually deliver a week later. Some good yield, $5.75. I like moving my malt barley as fast as I can. I encourage people to do that all the time. I don't like sitting on malt barley in these big bins all winter. I know quality holds most of the time, but I don't like it. All right. So this early malt barley movement, I'd call this a bit of a hot thing right now. And in fact, you can take your malt barley, move it over to some of these line companies. I'd say Bunge Viterra. I still have to say Bunge Viterra because everyone still says Viterra to me. But Bunge Viterra, bring it in right away. Now, a word of caution, unless Bunge changes this policy, which I don't think they will right away, but you do not know if you're getting paid malt until it gets loaded on the boat. All right. So just a word of caution with that, because what has happened before is you deliver malt and then all of a sudden a few weeks later, it's happened to me. It's happened to farmers I've consulted for. You got to call a few weeks later saying, hey, yeah, we have to pay you feed for that. It didn't make it. It is completely devastating. It's a terrible conversation to have. And it almost doesn't feel real. It almost feels like you're in shock about what is going on. What are you telling me? So just be careful. Make sure your specs are good specs, and your buyer with Bunge Viterra, they should communicate that with you, and they should give you a confidence level when you're hauling. I was chatting with a buyer yesterday, and she said, this stuff is so good. I don't understand what could cause it to not be. So, you can have that conversation, right? Talk it through. But I like moving this malt, and the other scenario is, hey, here's a malt price. I can't take it till January. I'll pay you storage though. And that storage doesn't amount to a hill of beans right now, because I think the storage is 7 cents per month or something like that. It might be a little bit different. I don't know. Do your interest calculations, folks. It's not doing much coverage there. It's covering it, but it's not great. So I like moving that malt right away. Okay. So if you're a malt grower, and you have it, I even have it as eating your veggies, number one. Malt guys, don't mess around. You shop your malt around, get the stuff moved. If you are profitable, you're making money, breaking even, close to it, have at it. All right. Okay. Feed market, switching gears here a little bit. Feed market, feed barley. Not so much. I did not look up the feed bids as of recording, but I keep reading under pressure. And I just noticed the export bids have, they seem to have quieted a little bit here. We had a bunch of get your feed barley in by September 15th, and here's a better price. And that's a little bit behind us now. So feed's still trying to find that low, which, again, not abnormal to try to find a low here in the next week or two. That's quite normal. All right. Okay. Outside of that, there are some companies looking for yellow peas. All right. And again, it's hard to look at a 650 and be like, that, that's the number. Like, that's where I have to sell these things. Hopefully you're at the tail end of your sales and you've got most of those yellow peas marketed. And maybe it's about freeing up a bin or freeing up a little bit of space and or generating a bit more cash. If this is the tail end of your marketing, I'd say move those darn things, because when are the next pea trains coming and at what value? And just, something to keep an eye on there. All right. So I like tidying some of that up. If you're like Ryan, I have nothing sold for yellow peas. I have lots of cash and lots of bin space. Well, I wouldn't start your marketing plan at 650. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't start it there. All right. Okay. Wheat markets. Again, just wanted to touch on this. Poland, their airspace was interrupted by Russian drones here this week. The tension is escalating in Ukraine and over in that part of the world, yet the wheat markets have not responded at all. I will still continue to reference these early movement trains, this environment of filling these trains at a higher than posted price. Again, we did some of this stuff at 750. Those current offers, bids from those companies. Jason's going to be on me over that. Those bids from those companies, 670, 675 today. So, we moved it at 750 already. We're going to replace it on paper with a call. Anyways, you just keep an eye on the movement for wheat. Try to take advantage of some of that. Putting it all in the bin, locking it up. I don't know, guys. I don't like it, but we'll see. Time will tell. All right, let's move over now to my conversation with Ryan Copithorne. We'll come back with the conference, an update on the conference, and eating your veggies. All right, Ryan, welcome back to the show here, regular on the What the Futures podcast. I appreciate you coming on last minute because the cattle markets have been, a little wild here lately. And I woke up this morning thinking I need to get Mr. Copithorne on the show ASAP. And here we are, like 5 hours later, getting you on the show. So how's it going this week, Ryan?
No, it's going good. We can't complain in the cattle industry. Our prices are good and we got lots of cheap feed around, so we're actually doing pretty good here in the cattle business.
So last time I was bugging you about how many cuts you would get. You're in one cut country for when it comes to hay for the most part. And anyways, I was driving last night. I was out having supper in the field with a farm and driving home, and there was people that were cutting, raking, and baling like all in one swoop. It was all happening out there. So getting that September cut north of Edmonton in 2025 here. So pleasant surprise, I would say.
Yeah, it's been interesting because we had such a late start that the hay really was late this year, and then we had all those rains that came in July and August, and so we actually got our hay crop up at the end of August when normally we'd be doing it in July. I'm hearing stories of pretty good hay cuts, but it's really the green feed crops that are incredible right now. Anything that's a cereal crop that you're growing is just amazing if you're turning it into feed right now. So I think there'll be lots of feed around in a lot of areas. There's still some drought areas up north, but overall we got pretty good feed around the country right now.
Yeah, the northeast part of the province here, they were talking about on the grain side about a 50% reduction in yield from that was on the radio here earlier today. So definitely some dry spots out there in across the prairies. All right, so cattle markets they're a little bit wild here right now. What's going on? I saw something about Trump saying they're putting things in place so that the price of beef drops. What are you seeing? What's the big impacts here?
Yeah, I mean, nobody knows what that one means yet. What he said the other day about that, but they're trying to. our cattle prices are really running right now. And this year they've run 34% higher or something on the year. So we've basically added a third of the value to an already elevated level to these cattle prices. But, that's on the futures market. When you start looking at the cash prices that we're getting, especially these forward sales for the fall, I mean, the prices have got kind of ridiculous in my opinion, but we'll celebrate them all the same.
Yeah.
So, I'm just encouraging people to take advantage of these high prices while they're here. The futures market's getting a little toppy, it looks like, but so far we're holding in there.
And so the futures market obviously will influence, but when you look at the prices here for the prairies in the fall of 2025, things are holding up relatively well, in the middle of September.
Yeah, I actually think it almost feels like a bit of a panic situation in the sense that the prices are so high for the fall right now. What the feedlots are buying these calves and yearlings for now for fall delivery, when I run the numbers, like there's just no way you can make those cattle pencil. And so maybe that's okay because the feedlots came off a pretty good turn this year, with the prices going up as fast as they did. The feedlots made a lot of money this year, but I think they're going to give a lot of it back on this next crop of calves and cattle because the prices are just ridiculous. And that when I do the projections, there's several $100 a head losses looking forward. So as producers, all you can do in this scenario is just keep selling into it. Like there's not really a good case for backgrounding or further feeding right now. And if you're producing calves or something, just keep taking advantage of these prices and keep selling into it. Same with the yearlings, your yearlings off grass and such. Just celebrate the high prices, take a breather. It's going to be hard to find something to buy next. So I think we need a market pullback to make that happen.
I want to talk about feed costs here. Last time you were on the show, we were talking about feed, barley, and being a little bit bearish feed grains. That's certainly the trend we're in right now in the glut of harvest year. Do you think that, the price of these cattle, everything's kind of crazy high right now. Do you think that folks are just, assuming or speculating that feed costs are going to get cheaper and that's why they're paying these big premiums for these calves?
Well, that's certainly part of it. I think the feedlots are more confident looking forward that, they do have cheap feed now coming. We got, enormous crops coming. And obviously the prices are quite a bit lower. So that when you run the cost of gains on feeding these cattle, it is down significantly. But that being said, I still think they're more panicking about the supply issue than the cheap feed side of things. Because even when I run today's feed grain prices, that the depressed feed grain prices, when I run the break evens on feeding these cattle, it still doesn't pencil to me. So it says to me these feedlots are overpaying just to get the cattle, just to keep their lots full.
So Ryan, I was chatting with a farm yesterday, and one of their financial team members, on their one of the professionals they hire, just mentioned to them that they thought it would not be a great idea to background their cattle this year. What are they talking about? Am I saying that right? Like, what are they referencing there?
Yeah, I think they're looking at the cost of these calves this fall. When you try and run the profitability of further feeding these cattle this fall, it doesn't look very good for the average producer. So I guess what they're recommending is taking these high dollars that are being offered right now and just selling the cattle and taking advantage of the high prices. If you try and further feed them, it's a pretty tough game right now. Of course, your feed is going to dictate that, though. If you have a bunch of feed on the farm and you can't get rid of it any other way, you're going to have to find a way to get rid of it somehow. But I'm pretty sure that's what they were referring to, is the feeding economics are very poor at these prices.
Okay. Obviously, the futures are tipping here a little bit. There's been some pretty wild swings here. Even today, pretty wild swings today. What sort of, if you're willing to share, like what's a strategy if maybe you're me, maybe you're me here, Ryan, with What the Futures, and let's pretend I've got a few head out in, in the back 40 here. What can I do as someone that's a little bit more junior in hedging cattle? Like, what strategy is can I look at to protect my margins here for this year?
Yeah, the first and foremost, the easiest strategy right now is to take advantage of the current existing cash markets. So whether that means selling today or selling for the fall, like with a forward sale, these prices that are being offered are so much higher than anything that the futures is offering. That's your best strategy. So forward sell, I would say, is your number one strategy right now. The other tools like livestock price insurance and put options are always a nice, safe option because you kind of pay a premium and lock in a floor price. The challenge with those is that you're paying, 15 to 20 cents in premiums for those right now, which is a lot of money. Yes, this market can drop 50 cents. It might even drop $1. Who knows? But to pay 20 cents up front for that kind of insurance or a put option is quite expensive. And so generally if you're comfortable with trading futures, I've been just looking at, using a ruler on the charts on your futures charts and looking at the trend lines. Every time a trend line gets broke, sell the thing a little bit. And then once you sell it, make sure you got protective stops in case you're wrong, in case it goes up against you. If you look at the futures charts, it's just been getting slowly steeper and steeper and steeper. And if you draw trend lines under every one of those, under that line where it gets steeper, every time it violates that trend line, if you sell a few futures, it's actually a pretty good way to play it. That's the way I played it in 2015, and I don't see why it wouldn't work in this go around as well. But you have to be kind of adept with futures. I would generally say, the forward sell is still your best tool.
All right, fair enough. Now there's bullish factors remain, correct? Obviously, we don't know what Mr. Trump's working on to lower the price of beef, but there's still a lack of inventory, a lack of supply, right? Anything else stand out from a bullish side?
Yeah, the Mexican border's still closed, and that's definitely going to be hard on the feeder supply, especially in the South in the U.S. So that's been pushing the market. Trump's tariffs on Brazil has been a challenge because the U.S. imports a lot of beef from Brazil, lean beef. And those tariffs, people, consider it a restriction. I don't think they've actually sold a whole lot less beef into the U.S., but there is a tariff on it now, that the 40% additional tariff on it right now. So people are looking at that as being restrictive. And just the fact that there's been no sign of serious heifer retention. We're slowly starting to retain heifers and grow the cow herd, but it's been really slow. And so if we start holding back more and more heifers to grow the herd quicker, that could be a bullish thing as well. So definitely there's some bullish signals in there. I just think the futures market's already priced all that bullishness in. And, at some point it's going to correct here. I think we're seeing a little kind of nosebleed optimism now, and it's time for kind of the realistic price to be discovered here. What is a fair high price? That's what the market has to figure out now.
All right, Ryan. So we've talked strategy in this episode. We've talked about how you can take advantage of high prices right now. We've talked about some of the factors impacting these markets. I'm excited. You're going to come out to Moose Jaw for the Crop Marketing Made Cool conference, which is going to have a little layer of cattle in it now, cattle risk management in there. So I appreciate you bringing some diversity to the conference here. I'm putting you on the spot, but is there anything from a presentation standpoint, when you get in front of that crowd, is there any point that you're going to hammer home to them when it comes to risk management?
Well, yeah, we'll see what the market's like at that time of year. Maybe it might break by then. We're not sure, but it definitely, I would be encouraging people to take a hard look at risk management. Like, if you don't have a plan in this kind of environment, it can kill you. It can be really devastating when you get as much volatility as we get at these high levels. So risk management is something I'm going to be pounding home for sure.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. Anything else that we didn't talk about today? Anything else that you have to bring to our attention, or did we get it all covered?
No, I think so. I'm just urging caution out there, and I'm actually encouraging people to start looking at taking on short positions on this market at some point. We don't know when it's going to top out. It may not have topped out yet. There's a lot of people saying that this bull market could run another year or two. Maybe they're right. I'm just looking at it. It's like these are pretty phenomenal levels. And there's an economist named Minsky that kind of had these principles for how to know when you're in a bubble. And one of it is the greater fool theory. When your investment has no chance of making money except for people paying higher prices later, then you're kind of getting into a greater fool theory, where the greater fool is the person that keeps buying your product at a higher price, even though it doesn't make money. So we have to be careful that we're not getting into one of those scenarios, especially when you run the numbers on these cattle. But for now, we're going to celebrate high prices. Ranchers have never made these kind of dollars ever. And so hopefully it's enough to build the herd here.
Well, I think you might have given us a nice little clip there to clip as well for social media posts, Ryan. So appreciate that. Thanks for coming on the show here. Again, as always, my panic this morning, texting you, hey, these markets are moving. Can you jump on the show? So appreciate your time this week. How can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, well, you can look up my website, cowsandcontrol.com. And otherwise, you can email me or phone me or whatever, but cowsandcontrol.com's got my contact information on there, and you can see what my program's about. And then we have some other services as well that stem off of that. So
perfect, folks. You heard it from the man. If you want to talk about strategy, dive into a few things that Ryan mentioned here. That's how you get a hold of him. So, all right, Ryan, have a great rest of the week, man. And we'll talk to you again real soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, it's always great to have Ryan Copithorne join the show, and you heard him talk about it, folks, managing risk, managing margin, profit, a few different ways to do it there, but always great having him join us to talk cattle markets. All right, let's turn our attention here to the Crop Marketing Made Cool conference, which is sponsoring the voicemail contest for this month. Of course, you go to whatthefuturespodcast.ca. It'll say send voicemail. It's a little like bar on the side of the screen. It'll say send voicemail. And if you go to that spot, you can send me a quick message and say, hey, Ryan, I'm tuning in from, wherever, Dormy, Saskatchewan, we'll say. And we are harvesting along, and we are, 40% done, whatever it is. We had Allison, Brendan, Val, Carl, all send voicemails in over the last week. So thank you so much for doing that. Again, you're entered. We're going to draw at the end of the month, John Deere multi-tool. Can't have too many of these kicking around. And a couple John Deere tumblers as well. And maybe some liquid courage to go with that. All righty.
Hey, Brian, it's Val Cheddarenchik here. Yeah, we're just sitting in our combines here. We're just in our wheat here. Yeah, yields aren't looking that amazing, but it's hard to guess, right, this early in the game. But I think if you count acres, we're probably about 35 to 40% done here. Almost done swathing. I noticed a lot of guys are swathing their canola down in the area this year, which is pretty amazing. So a lot of acres have gone down here. So, so it's Val Cheddarenchik.
Here I am, Brendan Shaw from Estevan, Saskatchewan calling. Hey, it's going pretty good out here. We're getting to be half done. Just want to say I like the show and look forward to it every week. Have a good day.
Hi, this is Alison Cheddarenchuk. I'm from the county of Smoky Lake. I'm currently sitting in my combine. My mom told me about your podcast. She's in the combine next to me. But appreciate your work and what you do.
Hey there, Ryan. This is Carl Jansen here from Peoria, Alberta. We are approaching 50% combined up here. Almost all the wheat's done and going back and forth between wheat and canola now. The yields are around 40 bushels for wheat and 30 bushels for canola up in the Peak Country.
Now, you don't have to be shy about this. I'm not going to, I'm not going to sell this information to StatsCan or anything. If you tell me you're percent sold, don't worry. It stays in-house. I'm not gaining any crop marketing advantage by you sending in that voicemail. All right. Crop Marketing Made Cool Conference. You heard it there. Ryan Copithorne is going to join us in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, December 9th to 11th. Again, you can apply to participate in the conference here at ryandenis.ca. You can find the conference details there. Again, the application is just to make sure we have farmers in the room. All right. That's why we do it. We just want farmers at each table. We don't want nothing against the industry people, but this isn't what this conference is for. It's for farmers. All right. So Ryan Copithorne is going to join us for a session around risk management for marketing your cattle, hedging your cattle. We've got Susan Stroud from No Bull Ag. She's one of our keynote speakers. She's going to talk about everything going on with the U.S. biofuel policy. She's very sharp. And so looking forward to that. We've got Nathan Kuhn that'll be in attendance. Nathan is a farmer from the Unity, Saskatchewan area, actually Reward, Saskatchewan. And he presented in Drumheller as well. And the people couldn't get enough. They wanted to hear Nathan more than once. And, it's a farmer that's talking about how crop marketing works for him and what he does and things that he's learned. Nathan has a wealth of knowledge, and so he's coming back. We've got Dwayne from Grain Metrics. He's one of those canola whisperers as well. Dwayne is dialed in not just on the canola markets, but he's going to talk about taking the emotion out of some of our decisions, which they got emotional here in June again. I got emotional in the canola market this last year with some of these big declines. Sarah Cushay from Trigger Grain, she's going to come and talk about, all the grain elevator contracts, all the fancy contracts that are available. In fact, today my phone was blowing up with a bunch of different Cargill contracts to talk about. But she's going to dive into the Bunge contracts, the Bunge Viterra contracts, Cargill. She's going to talk about what's available to you, what the watchouts are, which ones to consider and why, and in what scenarios to use them. All right. So we got that going on. We have a session on wealth management, on managing wealth, your retirement years, different ways to manage wealth. We're going to have a speaker on that. That's a little bit different this year. Terry Betker, he's making a return at the Crop Marketing Made Cool conference. He kicked this off last year and it blew everybody away. He's going to talk financial ratios. He told me, Ryan, I need to be there again. I got a little change to make here. I want to keep working on adding to the presentation I gave last year. So I want another stab at it. Let me at it. And I said, you know what, Terry, we got a spot for you, man. So let's do it. We got RBC coming to talk about hedging strategies, broker relationships. How do you work with these folks for managing your risk? Suzanne with Market Master is going to come do some 101 stuff with us. If you're new to crop marketing, new to farming, Suzanne's going to cover just some of the terminology and some of the things to look for in grain contracts and with buyers. All right. I'm going to speak a couple times. The list goes on and on, folks. There's another half a dozen people here that I haven't even mentioned yet. We will shortly. But the agenda is coming together. And we have a lot of fun too. The Crop Marketing Made Cool conference, 70% sold right now. I don't know. I think this thing's going to be sold out by the end of October. We'll see. Time will tell. Again, head to the website if you want to level up your crop marketing. This is the spot to be here. Moose Jaw, December 9th to 11th. And come have fun with us. We have a blast. We take care of all the little things. We spend a lot of time and energy on all the little things like having fun at the breaks, lots of networking, a heck of a party, and we give away a pile of merch and swag as well. So it's a lot of fun. All right. So look forward to seeing you there. And thanks, Bob bought tickets this week. So Bob, I know you're tuning into the episode, man. So thanks for coming to join us. And again, we're about 70% sold at this time. Okay. I wanted to eating your veggies here, and I think I got to check canola just briefly as well. So eating your veggies for this week. The one thing here, I hear about this, quite regularly right now, but it's about redoing your cost of production once you have those bushels figured out. And so for many, the bushels are bigger. There's more crop there. So you're lowering that cost of production. And so just, maybe you got the dry erase marker in the cab of the combine, just figuring out where you sit now from a break-even perspective. Because, if you needed $600 an acre, you're getting 60 bushels, you needed $10 for that. If you're getting 70 bushels, that's, eight and a half, 860, something like that. Just doing some of that math, getting that updated and seeing where you sit. It might make you feel a little bit better. Again, some of you harvesting crops, the county of St. Paul saying about 50% of normal yield right now. Peace Country, 60, 70, 80% of normal yield. That cost of production is going up. But then maybe you figure out, what crop insurance coverage looks like for you and stuff like that. But anyways, I would just encourage you to redo that cost of production. Second one I have for eating your veggies, I'm going to say make a flax recommendation here on the show this week. Again, I don't know you from many of you from anything, but if you are a flax grower, I think the writing's on the wall for yield potential here. And I'm still seeing some $18 flax out there picked up on farm. I would take a look at that. I chatted with Chuck a couple days ago, Penner with Left Field, and it was a market that was still kind of hanging in. It's not the 20 it was. But there's some good margin there. So secure that, sell some flax. And the last one, just going after this malt barley market. If you need to generate cash, if you're a malt grower, maybe you've got stuff that you want to get gone. I would just go and be aggressive in that space. Be aggressive and get after that malt sale. Other than that, I think for canola here, we're trying to find direction. This isn't really number 4. But obviously the market's trading, fairly sideways. Many have that 605 level kind of, $600 level penciled in as the zone for some support here. But easier said than done, currently trading at 627. And I know for myself, I did roll some of my positions from November to January, a couple days ago. That was Sunday night. I started to roll some positions over and move them over to another month. I also took profit on some short positions as well. I'm not saying that I'm bullish by any means. I'd love for the market to flirt with 640 to 650 in November in the short term here. And I'd probably sell a little something at that level if it got there. Again, canola harvest, I think, is in the high teens completed in Manitoba, less than that in Saskatchewan and Alberta. But the yields that are being recorded, you're talking about, 20 million acres of a crop, the highs and lows in there. But there seems to be a bigger crop coming. Again, time will tell. It's not in the bin yet. I just think about and reflect on the yields that get reported to me. Again, I don't even know if you'd call it reports from hundreds of farmers. Maybe. I talked to a lot of people, but yeah, there's a crop coming. And I just, I see I'm in the middle of my field and it's not what it was last year. And it's not this is my smallest crop in 3 years, but I get it. And it's tough. But that kitchen window, we talked about the kitchen window all year long. Just look a little bit big picture. Maybe we'll get some positivity out of there's some updates out of the meetings in China this week. Maybe we'll get some positivity around trade flow. But in the meantime, we also have to kind of play the hand that we're dealt for now and not put our head in the sand. All right. There's things you can do to protect yourself in these markets. Again, I don't like what's going on from a trade perspective. I don't like what's going on out east, and the lack of response for Western Canada. I don't like any of that, but I'm also going to play the cards that I have right now, play the hand that I have right now to the best of my ability until this gets straightened out. I'll be the happiest guy when I'm out there, buying calls or getting long this market because of some type of positive update between Canada and China. Alrighty. Yeah, let's leave it at that for eating your veggies here for this week. So I'm notorious on the farm for, like, number one, I talk to my dad or my brother and I say, how's it going at harvest time? It's not really what I should put out there right away, because, there's always a little something going on, right? So I got to change the wording. But I've been following along here, John Deere Operations Center, and it's reduced my text messages to the farm to say, how's it yielding? What's it yielding over there? What are you guys seeing? I'm following along now. JD Ops, watching the machines go by, and I'm even getting the alerts when things break down as well, which I'm like, oh boy, I better send my brother some something here to cheer him up, because it looks like we got a breakdown. We have a couple of machines down on the farm right now. It's been a slow grind, kind of get going, take a break, get going, take a break, and then we break some stuff. So I don't know, it hasn't been the smoothest harvest, but fingers crossed here that we find our momentum and our mojo. It sounds like we have 4 combines going here tonight. So we were down at 2 for a while. It sounds like we got 4 going again. So fingers crossed. But yeah. So what I want to highlight as well with John Deere Operations Center is that you can use this technology in basically any machine for the most part. Of course, you got to talk to your John Deere dealership and figure it out, make sure that it's compatible. But I know lots of farms running different color machines, still using JD Operations Center, because it is providing you with key information, decision-making information, and it's just one of those really great technologies from the folks over at John Deere. So reach out to your local John Deere dealership, check out all that great stuff in John Deere Operations Center. I did see on X here this morning, there was one tweet in regards to John Deere Operations, and it's giving you a little lets you know if there's a machine that breaks down. It even pinpoints where in that quarter section where that machine has had the issue. And so you don't have to search, you don't have to guess, you just follow that pin. And of course, I can't find the tweet as of recording here, but that was a new feature just released here. Alrighty. Okay, well, I think folks, we've kind of covered it for episode 92. So thanks for hanging out with me again this week. We put out a lot of content last week. It looks like you guys still have some catching up to do. Again, strongly encourage that you check out those episodes. There's definitely some little nuggets in there to help you with your crop marketing plan. I got to go out. I had supper in the field yesterday with Kurt and his family. It was Kurt's birthday, and so we had passed a pantry meal. I was able to kind of take the reins from Ruth for one evening. We had a great meal, beautiful evening, sun shining, nice and warm out. And after I was driving home, and I drove by a farm that just jogged my memory. It was the last name is Gannett, and I remember when I was a grain buyer. So this is Canadian Wheat Board days, and I thought this might be an interesting story here if you have a minute or two as I wrap up the episode. But back in the day, so with the Canadian Wheat Board, you guys remember like trucking premiums. We'd negotiate trucking premiums. So you'd get all your samples in and you'd negotiate grade. That was step one. You take your samples to all the elevators and then you'd negotiate grade. And whoever gave you the best grade deal often got the business. And so someone would say, hey, that's a 2. And the other company would say, you know what, let's make that a 1 somehow. Let's blend it with this guy or whatever it is, right? And then if everyone was the same grade, then you would negotiate trucking premiums. And so as like a rookie grain buyer, you'd come in and say, well, I'll give you $5 a ton this year for trucking premium. And they say, well, the other guy over there is going to give me 6, and so you say, all right, I'll go back and figure this out. And you'd use, trucking premium. And I believe this is how it worked. But as a grain elevator, if you did like a 2,000 ton Series A contract, it could be getting that kind of wrong. But as long as that farm dumped that first load at your facility, I believe you got credit for that entire contract. So I was working at Viterra, And then we had Richardson. You could see Richardson from our driveway. And then we had a little company called Providence Grain. And I remember going, and you try to poach farms from these other grain companies. So I remember going to Gannett's and getting their samples and negotiating trucking and getting the green light to just blow the doors off, give this farm like a crazy trucking offer to get this business. They had done business with Richardson forever, and we got their business that year. I don't know if we got it the next year, probably not, but we got their business that year. And then I remember going to another farm. This jogged my memory on how we used to buy wheat back in the day. But another farm, Viterra also had crop inputs. And I remember we packaged up like, here's your wheat board offer. Here's your crazy big trucking premium because we want your grain. And then here's your discounted price on your canola seed. Like, I don't know, it just kind of jogged my memory driving home last night about some of these old school deals back in the day. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying that those were better times. I remember having to write a check back to the Canadian Wheat Board because they paid me too much on the initial payment. I remember getting the surprise grain checks, wondering where the heck did this come from? Oh, this is from my wheat 18 months ago. Cool. I don't want to go back there, folks. I like to have control of how I sell. All right. So that's where I'm going with this one. Anyways, trip down memory lane for me last night. All right, folks. Well, if you enjoyed this week's episode, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, spread the word about the What the Futures podcast. I certainly appreciate you joining me here again this week. Well, we'll try to, I don't think we'll have any bonus content here coming out the next few days. But look next week. Next week, I've got a short week. Unfortunately, Chantal's her mère passed away here earlier this week, so we are heading to a funeral here in the next week. 91, great lady, great legacy, and I think we all hope we can make it to 91, but Mamerwa did pass. And so I'll be in studio a couple times early next week, hopefully catch up with Caitlin Laws and get that out to you guys as well. Maybe a live episode Tuesday in the works, but we'll see what we can get put together. Any questions, guys? You know how to reach out to me, Ryan at whatthefuturespodcast.ca. That's my email. Leave me a voicemail as well. That's fun too. If you have any crop marketing questions, I'm here to help. And that's it. Have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. For What the Futures, I'm out.